The crew of Return of the Jedi mocked the character design of Admiral Ackbar, deeming it too ugly. Director Richard Marquand refused to alter it, saying, "I think it's good to tell kids that good people aren't necessarily good-looking people and that bad people aren't necessarily ugly people. I never considered Ackbar ugly lol. How are we even supposed to determine that? Pretty handsome from Mon Calamari." Compared to Admiral Raddus, Ackbar was a dreamboat. Hey, you got something against guys from the polar regions of Mon Cala or something? Absolutely not. But we can't really control what type of Mon Calamari we're attracted to. Compared to anyone, Ackbar was a dreamboat. During the Black Fleet crisis, set 19 years after A New Hope, Commander-in-Chief of the New Republic Ackbar put on just a little weight from indulging in his fave Mon Cal dessert, and could no longer fit in his honored uniform from the Battle of Inda. Tilt to hit forehead and chin. I've always appreciated their big, soulful eyes. I greatly admire their species. Almost too good. A pacifist society of architects, scientists, doctors, shipwrights, philosophers, and rarest of all, honest politicians. Instead of rolling over and surrendering after the devastation of their planet, as a species they put themselves fully in the rebellion's corner. Converted their beautiful cruise liners into the capital ships of the Alliance fleet, capable of being operated by skeleton crews to minimize casualties. Without them, would the attack on the second Death Star even have been possible? I think not. Mad respect. He's the Josh Brolin on his planet. He's a daddy. Hell yeah. I'd let him fertilize my pre-laid eggs anyway. Frog Lady, is that you? The way they did him in the sequel trilogy, I can't forgive it. An epic character that in the AU becomes so pivotal to the post-Empire era New Republic gets unceremoniously and barely mentioned. The sequel trilogy did so many things wrong, but that one is absolutely unforgivable. I'm still convinced he was meant to pilot the ship into the Star Destroyer at the end. But at some point they realized they couldn't have a pivotal suicide attack carried out by someone called Ackbar, which is too bad. He would have been the perfect character to do it. That's a possibility. I just think it sucks that we got a ton of focus on characters who were legit throwaways in the sequel trilogy and absolutely no character building of characters who came from the OT that are in the movie. Wedge, Lando, Ackbar, etc. who also have a ton of EU content and a ton of now canon content from the Clone Wars, the Han Solo movie, companion books and comics, etc. A New Republic led by Ackbar, Lando, and Wedge instead of introducing Holdo or however the if you spell her name. I get that the biggest criticism of The Force Awakens was that it was a rehash, but that doesn't mean you throw everything away to make something new. The more I think about it, the more there were so many missteps in the sequel trilogy. And I actually really enjoyed all three movies as standalone movies. I just hate that the idea of a perpetuating Star Wars universe started off on that foot. Now I'm pretty sure Rian wanted the new Holdo character so he could play her off as some kind of traitor or incompetent leader. Then he could subvert the expectations he had set up in order to surprise the audience. That was the point of her sacrifice, to show she really was a hero after making it seem like the opposite throughout the film. The voice actor was dead, for one, and they chose not to recast him. Secondly, having a guy named Ackbar suicide pilot a ship would be really problematic even if that was not the original intention. The guy also had like one meme line in Return of the Jedi and a minor arc in the Clone Wars. He's about as important as Nub, and I don't see people whining that they did Nub dirty having him die on Exegol. He doesn't have one meme line in Return of the Jedi. He's basically the second main character of the interspace battle. Like remove him and barely any of that battle is actually shown because it's constantly bouncing between him and Lando. My whole point. He's a very pertinent figure in Return of the Jedi and even is expounded upon in between movie companion books and comics. He is in the Clone Wars animated series. He's seen as the leader of not only the Rebel fleet, but the Mon Calamari as a race are pertinent to the entire overall story because without them the rebels don't have capital ships to fight with. He's adorable. I considered him a fish. I'm still pissed they casually offed him in that crap-ass movie. Well, he's also a fucking fish. How in the world is that supposed to be attractive? What if he starred in The Shape of Water? Imagine him yelling "it's a trap" during the sex scene. Well, if he was a fish, he wouldn't be able to live outside of water. But the Mon Calamari are definitely amphibious. You know what I mean, he's a fish. And you know what I mean, he's not a fish. Smile. There are fish who can survive out of water. Also, evolution is a thing. However, what it actually is an alien from another planet. If you want to be pedantic, judging people by their appearance is a trap. Tell Admiral Ackbar, it's a trap. I mean, it's only weird because it's a human body with a fish head. But he rocks, so who cares? If you think that's weird, you should see General Grievous with Ackbar's head. And then they kill him in the background of the sequels as if he's just a henchman. If it wasn't for a throwaway line, I wouldn't have known he was even there. He's a tertiary character, and his voice actor had died. He was given a few lines and a featured role in both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, and retired. Holdo even name-checked him after his death. That's more than most tertiary characters get. But he was one of the most popular and beloved tertiary characters. He isn't Bib Fortuna or Ponda Baba. Hey, but Bib was back for a hot second after somehow escaping Jabba's sail barge before it blew. And in one continuity he got his brain extracted into a robot spider body. In another he got fat as shit and shot by Boba Fett. He's a tertiary character in one movie from almost 4 decades ago, whose pop culture cachet revolves around one meme line. I like EU Ackbar well enough, but let's not pretend he was a major fixture of the films. I'm just saying the man was an admiral in the ragtag rebel army. He should at least get a shout out. Bail Organa was a leader of the Rebel Alliance and served with Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars, but was killed off without ever seeing him. And every other high-ranking rebel is a one and done in the OT, Dodonna, Madine, Raiken. Even Mon Mothma just disappears from Rotj after the briefing. The fact that Ackbar got to come back in an additional movie, and get a line and an acknowledgement of his fate, is actually the biggest shout-out for any rebel leader so far in the films. 2 additional movies, even. And Nanunb, true hero of Inda, managed 3, he did get a shout-out. Holdo named only him and Leo out of the many casualties. Also, he's in the Navy, not Army. If he was truly just a tertiary character, then there would be no point in killing him off or later mentioning his death specifically by name. You'd just say the attack killed all the other commanding officers. It's only because he was a beloved character that Ryan would bother to kill him off like a bitch. I liked The Last Jedi more than The Force Awakens or Rise of Skywalker, but in that case Ryan went too far. And I'd wager he did it solely because JJ included him in The Force Awakens for no reason other than fan service. It's only because he was a beloved character that he was brought back at all. You're just looking for reasons to be upset. LMAO, what a weird take. So just like the Jedi that go with Mace to arrest Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith, reams of lore of Kit Fisto only to go down like that. There are a lot of problems with the sequels, but I cannot fathom how the hell people think killing Admiral memes Ackbar is a valid thing to be upset about. Just because they're a popular meme doesn't make them a main character. He's a recognizable minor supporting character. Exactly the kind of character to spend on moment that's all about raising the stakes and creating a feeling of real danger. I'm oddly fascinated with the Mon Calamari. They seem so alien compared to the rest of the rebellion, like something from a different part of that galaxy. Their ships were the first that were manned with only non-humans of a single species. The first ship that was able to pick a fight with a Star Destroyer. One of the most poignant quotes I've read about Star Wars. Great characters in everything except their name. Seems a bit on the nose. Ackbar was always one of my favorite as a kid. I thought he looks awesome. Same. He was so cool commanding that gigantic flagship and the whole rebel fleet. I also really liked his chair, so sleek and futuristic. I always liked him. He's a cool octopus dude. Maybe he's handsome according to his peeps. That is an amazing message to tell, especially to kids and the younger fans of Star Wars. What I liked about the Clone Wars series was you actually got to see their worlds. There were episodes with the Mon Calamari Jedi, spoiler alert. He didn't last long, and the Mon Calamari Aquatic War. Good stuff. Ackbar has honest ties which I liked. Ackbar is a hero. He died for our freedoms. In a blink and miss moment, thank the poor execution of the sequels. He deserved a better storyline than an off-screen death. The franchise under Disney needed better treatment. It's finally happening. but I think the damage has been done with the sequels. Crew, it was George Lucas that hated it. I see no proof George hated the design. Please show proof. I always thought there was something fishy about the guy. So you're saying that the character literally was a trap? I don't like his mouth. It's not a mouth. It's a trap. Loved this fishy mofo. Debating the philosophy of attractiveness and morality. It's a trap. Admiral Ackbar is a damn national treasure as far as I'm concerned. LOL. Too ugly? I guess he could use a mustache. I thought he was pretty hot. That man is a goddamn hero. How dare they? They did film his scenes with an actor out of the makeup as well. I always liked this character. I like the notion, but I never thought Ackbar was ugly. He's just a cool alien dude. This is also something that is lost in today's movies. Freaking a Richard Marquand. I always apologize to the Admiral first when I mention that Mitch McConnell bears a striking resemblance to Admiral Ackbar. How can you say he's ugly? He's a Mon Calamari. He might be the most attractive one for all I know. As a kid I thought these guys were heroic and cool. Ugly never came to mind. Even now I don't see it. The man is a goddamn admiral. Please show him the respect he deserves. He might be really handsome as far as bulgy-eyed fish people go. Admiral Ackbar is adorable. Wow. Here I am thinking I'm a Star Wars fan and I'm just now, at 47, finding out that George wasn't the director of all the originals. I'm pretty sure I have seen every film, show plus I've read numerous books. I'm honestly shocked to learn this. He did the first one. But what people don't know is that he saved Empire. As much as people want to credit others for Empire, Lucas gave us the version that was shown in theaters. Bad people aren't necessarily ugly people. Enter Emperor Palpatine. Poster man for bad people look very much like you would expect them to. I'm going to bet he was someone's first crush, and that someone grew up to make the shape of water. Neat. But the sentiment can be a bit mixed when all the big villains are ugly as sin. In my opinion, Ackbar actually looks cute. This is so true. I remember as a young kid watching this and thought, wow, even monsters can be good guys. I think Mon Calamaris are low-key cute. Am I the only one who thinks so? I really like Mon Calamaris. They look rad, and then they just blew him up like nothing. He was always my favorite alien in Star Wars. Thank you for joining us. Let us know what you think about Admiral Ackbar in the comments. See you next time.